What is up? What is up? I am Jack, and I just realized as I finished recording and I'm about to start editing this video that I forgot to record an intro. So, you're going to see, based on my environment and what I'm wearing, we're about to go back in time. But, introduction to the video, this is Raceroom. Nope, wrong way. Raceroom versus GTR2. This is two older sims, but two sims that have really, really fascinating features that we're going to talk about once the racing gets started. So this is going to be a long video, but it's going to dive into depth in these two sims as we try to discover what is the best sim for single player racing. Here's our bracket from our previous round. So you can see we've already compared Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I gave the edge to Assetto Corsa. In that comparison, I watched it back and I felt like I didn't do a great job of fully describing maybe why AC1 beat ACC. There wasn't a point system or anything like that. I wanted to avoid a point system because I think sometimes in sim racing comparisons that can be a little bit silly. Like if I get 10 points for sound quality of a game, but then I get 8 points for physics, is that really better than a game that has 5 sound and 10 physics? Like, I don't know, those point systems can get a little bit arbitrary. For me, it made the most sense to just compare the two sims and then to take my immediate reaction. I think for the viewers it'll be a little bit better for this video if I put together a pro-con list at the end in my conclusion portion of this video, so you can see the pros and the cons of each sim and why I'm choosing one sim over the other, or what each sim has to offer. So with that, let's get straight into it. GTR2 is going to be the first race, a 2-hour endurance race, and then Raceroom, the sim that I spent a lot more time in, it's just going to be a little bit shorter, quicker race, but that's mostly because I have spent a long time in Raceroom previously. So alright, let's get to it. Both of the sims we're comparing today, Raceroom and GTR2, have one of the coolest features in a racing sim that I can't believe doesn't exist in other racing sims, and this feature pushes it really high up in my single player rankings. It's a different feature for each sim. So in Raceroom, that's the adaptive AI, and for GTR2, that's this driving school. This first thing right over here in single player. So we click on driving school and there's a lot of cool stuff here. So track work, everything under track work is like a practice event. So you can get acceleration, braking. It's going to give you some different drills, and in cornering there's 18 different drills. And that's only part one. So it's cool because it gives you all these different drills that you can work on. Learning how to take different corners, even learning how to overtake. I really like this feature right here too, circuit coaching. I'm gonna be doing my race here at Estoril. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's in the Cascais region outside of Lisboa. I do know how to pronounce that stuff in Portugal. Yeah, really fun track that I don't know very well. So I actually am going to put this feature to work before I record my race. And it's also, I think this is amazing. Under theory, you have all of this stuff. Imagine if you're a brand new sim racer and you're hearing things like late apex, early apex, and you don't know what that stuff means. And all this stuff gives you all of this information under theory gives you all this detail, and you could learn so much by playing GTR2. Actually getting this driving school built into the game would have been incredible if GTR2 had been the first racing sim I had started with. So extremely cool feature here that I can't believe more games don't have. Alright, here we are. GTR2, Cascais, Estoril, However you pronounce it, I don't know. These cars are so sick. Alright, let's get it.
This is a rolling start. Follow car number 77 in the
And
right column.
we have already been rear-ended. That was lovely. I don't know how to make sure that my pit strategy is set up correctly. Tires and things, but we're on hard tires. I think we're on hard tires. I hope we're on hard tires.
Floor it. Green, green, green.
Look at him pinching the car to the left. Nobody's on our inside.
Car clear left, clear left. Clear left. Left side.
Oh,
Clear
we
left.
might take P1 in class.
Car
Oh.
left. Clear left.
He was not going to let that happen, was he? Again, just try to avoid any incidents.
On your right.
Some of these cars are really checking up here.
Hold your line. Right side's clear.
Okay. This Viper getting
Car
passed
right.
by slower cars.
Clear right. Start
Come on, buddy.
We're still in good shape here.
You are the GTR official car. Let's go. There we go. Oh, don't brake too late. Don't ruin your race this early. Dirt on the tires seems to have a huge impact. So we're gonna really try to avoid getting our tires onto the grass. This car is an absolute joy to drive. No matter what happens in this race, getting an hour and 55 more minutes of this car is going to be worth it. Alright. I am going to finish this lap and then test out the save the game feature. Unless you have to be in a pit stop to save the game. Very cool how the windshield is getting dirtier. I wonder if it'll be cleaned off when I pit. Alright, pushing a little too hard through there. Missed that apex. What a car. Alright, so we should be able to now click save. Okay, game is saved. Alright, so here is the beautiful thing about GTR2. We started off that race. It was a 2-hour race. I was in this Porsche RSR right here. The beautiful thing is I started off, raced about 15 minutes of a 2-hour race, and then really I just didn't want to do the whole 2-hour race in one sitting. But now, with an hour and 44 left, I can just hop right back in. Well, everything's saved exactly where it was in that previous save. So really, really cool stuff. And we're gonna hop right back where we left off. There we go. As if nothing had changed. It's really cool, I love that. Now, the hard part is when you take a little break and you hop right back into it, is finding your rhythm right away. I will also say the sunsets and stuff in this game, for a game that came out in 2006, I believe, looks good. I mean, look at that moon off in the distance and the clouds. And I will say for now, this race is not the most exciting, as we are building a gap to P3 and we are losing time to P1 in class, meaning we are pretty squarely situated as the second fastest car in class. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Incident in Sector 2. Sector 2 is yellow. Sector 2
Spoke too soon?
5 car left. Clear left.
And there's our race leader in the GT class.
You're locking your fronts going into Orella.
Okay, we got a little bit of a flat spot. We're locking up way too much.
Yellow flag. Clear left, clear left. Sector 2 is now green.
Lost a position there. Alright, we have to pit.
We've got to
Okay. Okay, good. I was so nervous earlier that when I was in the pit, I was losing time trying to make this decision. But it looks like everything is paused. So I could have, since I flat spotted the fronts, technically, I could have just...
all done, go.
Come on, engine on. I could have technically just changed the fronts. Alright, we got a faster car behind. Can't tell what it is.
Car right. Clear right.
Yeah, so the faster class is at least passing me pretty believably. Looks like the P1 is coming up behind us. Oh, bad timing. We need to let off here. Brake a little early, avoid any incident. Let's see how they handle the slower AI. Fast AI versus slow AI. We got a front row ticket. Ooh, pretty good for both of them there, to be honest. Oh no!
Car right. Yellow flag.
They are braking
Right
early.
side's clear.
I'm sure we got some damage. So we can stay out on these tires even though they're a little bit flat spotted. Lap time's not horrible. More fast. Oh my gosh,
Right
every
side's
time. So they're gonna brake insanely early there every time. Good to know. And look at the faster classes bearing down on us.
There's a group of faster cars bearing down
Lamborghini.
on you. These guys are scrapping for position.
We gotta make this stick. The faster class is showing a little bit of patience, maybe a little too much patience. That's another one we gotta break earlier there.
Blue flag.
Lock up.
Car right. Clear right.
Alright, and I'm gonna pause it here at the end of this lap.
Blue flag. Right side's clear.
We're gonna see. We're last in class, but we're not far behind the other cars in class. And I think we have enough fuel to make it to the end. So let's see. We're gonna try and see what we can do. So this navy blue car in front is definitely for position. I think the Ferrari in front might also be for position as well. Ooh, give us an opportunity.
Left side, clear left. Car left.
And we take advantage. Thank you.
Well done, Jack. Nice move, mate.
All of these are for position. Number 63 right there is in our class and the car ahead. So we are working our way back up the grid. Let's go.
Clear left. Car right. Right side's clear. Car right. Hold your line. Clear up. Car right. Right side's clear. Clear right. Acknowledged. Pit stop requested.
I did not request that pit stop, but I think they're telling me that I need to for my tires. So I'm gonna do it.
Go, go.
No, no. Oh, I kept turning. Oh, I kept turning the ignition. Oh man, that's killer. Okay, we got medium tires though. It's crazy how even changing the tires, changing the fuel drastically changed how the car felt. Changing the tires also a drastic change in how this car is driving. Alright, it says next car is 35 seconds ahead, so I don't think the guy right in front of us, he's either a lap ahead and or a lap behind. Look at how that delta has dropped. Man, this era of sports car racing had a lot of Porsches, didn't it? Ooh, car in front's pitting. Okay.
Car clear left.
Let's go.
Incident sector 3, yellow flag. P8. Okay, Jack, that's half distance. Fuel levels are fine.
We just made a lot of passes right there. So it is very clear that a number of cars just pitted in our class on that
Sector
lap.
3 is clear.
Because I can just focus on putting decent laps in. Oh, come on.
Car clear right. Blue flag. Pick up on your left side, car right. Clear right.
Gotta be careful because of the dirt on the tires.
Car right. Right side's clear.
He's in my class, isn't he? I think that's the... Maybe not, but I think that was a car in my class. Just flying by.
P6.
And with 20 minutes left, we have a car exiting the pit right on us in our class. So the AI in my class has managed this race very similar to me. And if he came out on soft tires, he could have a pace advantage, but it's going to take him a minute to get his tires warm.
You've got half your fuel left.
This
Car left.
Viper's
Clear,
struggling to
car
get
left.
past.
Clear left.
So they kind of struggle to get past a little bit, but not horrible. Taking it easy. Well, to wrap up some final thoughts, that was really, really fun. 2 hours. I think we're going to end up mid-pack. Strategy seemed to matter. The AI did decent. I mean, I think there's room for improvement, but that was not bad.
E6. Well done, mate. Good finish. Clear left.
Please don't hit me. Okay.
Clear right.
Lovely. I almost made it to the pits. Oh my gosh. We finished P19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we finished 6 out of 13. We finished dead center in the middle. Wow. I mean, overall, what I'll say is I think that was massively successful. Yeah, really fun race. Loved it. GTR2, 10 out of 10. That was awesome. I don't know how Raceroom is going to beat that. We are in the second sim of this comparison video. The second sim is Raceroom, as you see here. And this is a really interesting comparison. I finished up the GTR. Well, actually, before we get into that, you may notice black back here where it was white. I am painting some areas in my basement, and I'm gonna do some mural artwork on that wall. So really, really exciting stuff coming soon there. So you can tell which parts of the video were recorded at what time based on the paint color. Anyways, Raceroom. Very interesting comparison. After that experience of that 2-hour race, which I've already recorded in GTR2, it is hard for me to imagine Raceroom being able to beat that. But we are going to give it its fair chance. Here are some of our single player features, not counting leaderboards and things like that. But custom championships. GTR2 also has custom championship as a mod. But here's the feature that I think is going to be the one thing that gives Raceroom a fighting chance, and that is adaptive AI here. We're going to talk about adaptive AI as we get into this race. We're going to do a 10-minute race. I'm not going to qualify. It should put me somewhere around the middle of the grid. Let's actually bump that down a little bit. Let's go 10th place. And we're going to be in the Mazda MX-5 because I'm a little bit of a Mazda fanboy. And Portimao, I've been to this track in real life to watch a race. And we did the GTR2 race in Portugal as well. So 2 Portuguese tracks for this series. Está muito bom. 10-minute race, Raceroom. We got a little bit of overcast weather, which is interesting, and that kind of is something we got to talk. Something that is going to give us a little bit of a talking point. But let me get through my first couple laps here with the MX-5 Cup car as I move the mouse out of the way. We got Gresham Wagner behind us.
Go, go, go.
Alright, here we go. Takes a second for the green flag to start. So, let's talk about this. Adaptive AI. What adaptive AI is essentially, and it's such a cool feature when it works well,
Car right.
is the theory is if we select adaptive AI, the more times we race a specific class of car, the AI will pick up on what your abilities in that car are, and it will adjust the AI's skill
On your left.
to match your pace.
Still there. Clear left.
So, in theory, after running a few races in the same car,
Car left. Clear left.
you should have AI
Car right.
that is running. Oh, AI has a little moment ahead. We make a few cheap
Right,
passes
clear.
there. You should, in theory, have competitive AI. It does work pretty well, and I think it's a cool feature that I cannot believe is not in other sims. We try to maintain a high cornering speed. Don't want to scrub off too much speed with these low-powered MX-5 cars. I like this feature, the adaptive AI, because it means you don't have to sit there and just kind of guess, oh, I think I should race at a 92 AI, and then you end up just blowing out the AI. It takes all of that having to guess AI difficulty out of the equation. I like that. Its downside is it does take some races to get set up. You do have to run...
6th place.
Yep. You do have to run 3 or 4 races before the AI starts to understand your pace. I ran 3 races, all 5-minute races, in the MX-5 Cup cars before this recording. It's only about 15 minutes to set up, which honestly, when you think about it, is not that bad considering how long it takes to set up some other races sometimes. What I did was did 3 5-minute races. The first race, I absolutely killed the AI. Then it started getting closer and closer and closer to then become a little more competitive. Still not perfect. I think it takes...
On your right.
It usually takes about
Clear right.
5 races before it's like really locked in.
On
But
your right.
if you're creating a custom championship and you're running the same cars... Ooh, the AI's trying to battle with me there. I like that.
Hold
2
your line.
easy passes there.
Hold your line.
If you are doing a custom championship and you're planning on running, let's say, a 9-race championship,
The next
by
car
the end
is
of the
Brooks,
series,
car number 72.
you're going to have really, really consistent AI, theoretically, which is just a great feature. It's not perfect, but in my experience, and I have done full championships using it, in my experience, it has been pretty good. I did an Audi TT Cup championship, and with adaptive AI,
Just a warning for cutting the track.
ended up kind of finishing third, fourth, or fifth in most of the races, and I had to push pretty hard to earn that, which made it really fun, the challenge of it. Now, let's talk about why we chose MX-5 Cup cars.
Just done a 207.1.
These cars, if you've ever watched an MX-5 Cup race, these cars battle wheel to wheel the entirety of the race.
Be careful.
Ooh, they did not get a good exit there.
Hold your line.
And there's even bump drafting that goes on the whole time
Clear left.
because there's no aero on these cars. And I also think the roll cages
Car number 88.
do something with the aero that make it really easy to follow close by with the
Right
car in
side's
front.
cold.
And you end up having these crazy races
Left side, clear left.
where they're just bumper to bumper for the full race, and then they make like,
He's still
oop,
there.
double shift there, they make like 2 or
Still
3
there.
passes on the last lap. So you actually, in real life, you actually don't want to be sitting in first place
Okay. Bad luck, mate.
going into the final lap in an MX-5 Cup race. Now, in sim racing, if you watch iRacing MX-5 Cups, that's not really the case. Same with the Assetto Corsa. But here, we are driving pretty close bumper to bumper. It's not quite like the real thing, where they're literally touching bumpers through turns. But I mean, this is a pack of cars right here, 4 cars, all kind of staying in each other's tow. The tow might not be as powerful as it should be, but
there's a chance of a podium here. Push, push, push.
yeah, there is a chance for a podium. So adaptive AI is good. Also, I noticed the AI in some sims, the AI achieve their lap times in completely different ways than a human would. These AI do drive fairly believable, and one of the things I like a lot about the Raceroom AI, they battle with one another. They drive door to door really, really respectfully.
Carter behind is now 0.6.
They make mistakes, they're not perfect.
New fastest lap for 206.4.
Like that? Oh, they make mistakes like that.
Okay, Jack.
Wow.
Track limits. Keep it between the lines.
That was a moment, was it not? That was cool. That was cool because it was believable. Like, sometimes other sims, when the AI makes a mistake, it feels manufactured. That didn't feel manufactured. That was really an authentic feeling moment right there. So, some of the downsides to GTR2, let's talk about them real quick as we only have 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Day-night transition. We don't have it in this game. You can go from dusk to dawn, but you cannot go into the night. Endurance racing kind of off the table there. You
Sector 1 is now green.
Don't have rain. GTR2 does have rain, despite being significantly older than Raceroom. GTR2 has rain. GTR2, you can really feel the track
Side.
rubbering in over the course of a race weekend.
Clear left.
Whereas the track at the beginning of a race and at the beginning of practice and at the end of a race and at the end of practice kind of feels the same, to be honest. You can even in GTR2 feel the difference between warmer temperatures and cooler temperatures on track. Here, the track just always feels the same. That's something I've always noticed about Raceroom. Never really heard anybody else talk about it, but just my opinion. Let's see if we can stay in the tow of these cars as the MX-5s do.
P3, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium.
One of the, I would say the biggest advantage. Oh, he has, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious.
Green flag, all clear.
Oh, we took a little bit of damage.
Don't panic, we'll get him back.
Honestly, it doesn't feel like I took a ton of damage. Car lost it in the same way as the other car. Wow. So I lost my train of thought. Advantages of Raceroom. Content. I think this is really cool. We're doing the MX-5 Cups here, and you can see there's real race drivers. Like sitting in 6th place is Connor Zilich. I know he's a young, up-and-coming driver in the IMSA series that does really well. We started right in front of Gresham Wagner. Those are some of the game names that I recognize when I watch these races in IMSA. And I believe the rest of the names probably raced in the MX-5 Cup as well. So that's kind of cool. Tons of tracks that are all done with really high quality. I've been to this track in real life, and I can tell you the bleachers are in the exact spot they are in real life. Everything, like this is, it feels exactly like when I was there, which is pretty cool. High quality, whereas with GTR2, you're relying on mods, which are not going to be up to the same level. Some of the car mods that I've driven in GTR2 don't have the best force feedback or don't drive the best, whereas with Raceroom, there are no mods. You are literally just getting content that they developed. there's going to be the checker flag. Let's wrap up this video with a little pros and cons list. With GTR2, that was a 2-hour race, endurance race using some kind of vintage endurance cars. And I'm going to be honest, that was one of the single most fun races I have done as a single player race. This was actually a battle of two sims with really, really interesting and fascinating features. GTR2, the driving school. I did not show any clips or any examples. Sorry, I have paint all over my hands. I did not show any clips or examples from driving school, but it's a feature that is really, really cool, and I think would be amazing for someone who's using it as a single player to learn about racing, to learn about how to drive, to handle a car on track, which is a crazy feature that no other sim on this list has. Pros of Raceroom. Content is base content from the developer, so it's consistent. All the content is good. All the cars I've driven in Raceroom, all the tracks I've been on in Raceroom are high quality. GTR2 has mods, which means a good quantity of content. However, there's a variation in the quality of content. Some is good, some is bad. Some cars don't have the best force feedback when you get them as a mod, etc., etc. GTR2, endurance racing, pit strategy, things like that are absolutely incredible. That is a huge pro to GTR2. Car sounds, I'm going to put that as a pro for both of them. Day-night transition, huge pro for GTR2, especially with it being an endurance-focused sim. And that is a huge con to Raceroom, is no day-night transition and no dynamic weather, and the track does not feel like it's dynamically rubbering in. Driving, handling characteristics, GTR2 feels top tier, and I'm going to be honest, Raceroom also feels top tier. Both feel like very top tier racing sims. I love the way both of them drive. Alright, so let's summarize and let's end this. So when I think about both of these sims and I compare them side by side, I knew coming into this first round this was probably going to be the most difficult comparison. GTR2 is a really good old sim, and Raceroom, also a little bit older, is a really good sim with fun content, the best touring cars in all of sim racing in my opinion, and ease of use, not having to deal with mods. That should be on my pros list as well. Ease of use with Raceroom. You literally load it in and it's so simple to get a race set up, and because of that I thought Raceroom had a chance to beat GTR2. But you can probably see where I'm going with this. GTR2 is going to take this round. Let's flip over to our bracket and move GTR2 forward, and I'm going to tell you why. So, GTR2, that 2-hour race, like I said, was the best single player race I might have ever had in sim racing. The ability to save the game in the middle of the race, come back to it later, that should go on the pros list as well. The ability to save the race in the middle of the race is huge, so that I don't have to, if I wanted to run a 24-hour race, I could do it without having to do it all in one sitting. I think that is an incredible feature. The driving school I did not really use that much, except I did use it a little bit to learn that track, and that feature is unbelievable as well. And I actually am going to, without a shadow of a doubt, go through driving school and see if it makes me a faster driver. I think that could make an interesting video as well. And I finished that race immediately planning out what my next endurance race was going to be in GTR2. When I finished my race in Raceroom, I was thinking a little bit about how fun a touring car season would be, and that new content that you've heard is coming out with in Raceroom. I started thinking about how fun those cars are going to be, but I didn't have the same excitement for like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to load up another race and do it again. Like for me, I'm already thinking about a 24-hour of Spa, or I'm thinking about, Sebring. I have a mod for Sebring and how fun it would be to do a 6 hours of Sebring, and do it over multiple days. So GTR2, I left that race immediately thinking about what I'm going to do next. It's amazing. So GTR2 goes into the next category or into the next round. Another thing to look out for, I think this weekend I'm going to release the full 2 hour footage of my GTR2 race. If you would like to go back and watch that race in its entirety, obviously going to be a super long video, but could be fun for you to watch. So with that, that is my comparison of these two sims. GTR2 is going to be so tough for any other sim to beat. I'm going to be honest. That experience was so good. So next week, either the Automobilista Brothers or the Motorsports Games Le Mans Ultimate R Factor 2 siblings. It's going to be one of those comparisons. Keep an eye out. I'm hoping to release that video next Wednesday. If it doesn't come out next Wednesday, it will come out the following weekend. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.